well, a new week. As I filmed the intro, thought I found a really good spot. I was videoing the review, got home, went to have a look at it, it weren't there. My phone memory was full. Rookie mistake, but we'll move on. We'll do it again, and again, until we get it right. So yeah, as I said in the intro, we're just doing a review on my 3 Series BMW M Sport. I never said that actually, M Sport, but I'm saying it now. It's an M Sport. So we're just going to go over, as I said before, the things I like about the car, things I dislike about the car, the mods that I've done to the car, and mods that I want to do to the car. So we'll move on with a positive note. The things I like about the car. Well, to start with, it's the most comfortable car that I've ever driven. Like, the ride's smooth. It's got a slight little knock. It probably could do with a couple of bushes. But other than that, it drives phenomenally. It just glides across, and it's pretty low as well. I know that the M Sport suspension is lower than other BMWs from factory. At first I thought this car had been lowered, because I was like, there's no way this car came out of factory this low. Like, it scrapes on speed bumps, some speed bumps. But it's nice that it's quite low. It's got a nice little stance for what it is, and it came from factory like this, and it's comfortable. The seats are really nice. It's got kind of like bolstered race car seats. Like, I had Recorers in my last car, and they had the bolsters on as well, and it just keeps you nice and firm. So if you go for a little spirited drive in the back roads, you're not sliding all over the leather seats. Another great feature about this, if you're quite a big lad like me, I like my food, don't judge, and you need to get your love handles in, you can adjust the bolsters. There's a switch on the side, you can adjust them and it'll come in and out. So if you're really skinny and you're like, I want to fit in this bolstered car, these nice car seats, you can do that. If you're really big and you want to still fit in them, you can still feel hugged. The steering wheel it's got a nice leather to it. It's got a great feel. It's got nice leather. It's quite chunky. You like it when you grab a hold of it, nice, thick, big and chunky. It hasn't worn away, to be fair. The plastic bit around the bottom where the M Sport badge is quite worn and scratched, but so that's not be hard to sort out. But other than 15-year-old car with 115,000 mile on, the steering wheel hardly looks touched, other than the scratches. The whole seating position as well, you've got a nice little, it's like you feel like you're in a cockpit. You're quite low down. The centre console is quite high, so you just do it. You can keep your arm on the armrest and just change gears, nice and comfortable. Put your arm on the window and just cruise along. Speed limit, of course. It's a horrible thing. But yeah, nice comfortable cockpit. All the buttons and switches are just literally you don't even need to move really to press them. So yeah, another thing I like is the black roof lining. I think it makes all the difference in an interior, especially when you get the windows tinted and you've got the black roof lining and you get the white LED lighting and you've got the tinted out window. It makes everything feel a bit more cozier, in my opinion. The cup holders, they spring out the dash, like you don't know they're there. When you push them in, there's a cup holder come out where you can put your Monster in. The climate control on this car is fantastic. I've had 3 cars with climate control. All of them apart from this one have been rubbish. You put the climate control on, so you normally set your house heating to about 19 degrees. Put that on in one of my old cars, you're either hot or you're either cool, or it just doesn't get up the temperature. This one is really good. You press the auto and it sets it for you. It's nice and chill. If you get a little bit too hot, it's got a little adjuster on the vents where you just lock it down a little bit and it puts a bit cool air in. They've got a fridge in the armrest, like that is fantastic. So if it's a nice hot summer's day, you've got a nice cool drink, whack it in there, whack it in there, keeps it cool for you. Today it is 3 degrees, so there's no need for that. I just hang it out the window for 10 minutes. I love the gearbox in this car. Not that it's got a sporty feel or anything, it's just short. Like the gear shifter's short. You don't have to do much motion. It's a nice feel gearbox. It literally feels like you're just clicking it into gear. So anyone that's into cars and stuff, which I'm guessing you are if you're watching this channel, when you change the gear and you just feel the clicks as it goes into the next gear. So we're going to move on to things I don't like about this car. And the biggest problem with this car is that it's just slow. Like, it's a big boat and it's only got a 2-litre diesel engine, so it is pretty slow. Don't get me wrong, the torque is pretty torquey and the rear wheel drive does help. So when you if you need to launch away or pull away quickly, it does do that. Like 0 to 30 is alright, because it doesn't have that. When you pull away from a junction quick, if you launch your car, I'm not saying you should, but if you do, when you launch your car in a front wheel drive car, it spins up. But in a rear wheel drive car, it pushes you. So you get it, you do, if the traction's off, you will get a little bit of a wheel spin, but it regains itself quickly, and you do feel the difference. You feel the difference. If you were to pull out, you had to pull out of a junction quick because there was a load of traffic coming where you wanted to get out. You can't do that. It's not sluggish at that point. But going for an overtake on the spine mode, you've got to drop the gears. You've got to get into that boost zone. You've got to just give it a little bit more stick, just to try and get a bit of oomph into it. And we'll talk about later how we'll rectify that. But that is my biggest pet hate on this car. Well, 1 out of 2 biggest pet hates on this car. The next one is the push button start. I don't understand why it's got a push button start, because you've got to push the key in to it's got a slot. It's not a turny key. You've got to push the key into its slot, and then you've got to press the button for the ignition on, and then you've got to push your clutch in and then push the button start again. Like, why can't I just push the key in? So if I push the clutch down, push the key in, why doesn't it just start then, like an Audi does? My Type R, the Civic Type R had the same. You got to turn the key all the way around and then press the push button start. Like, I understand that. I enjoyed it in that car because it was a sports car. This isn't. Like, this is made to just go up and down a motorway. So just eliminate that little 2 seconds of pushing pushing a button. Another thing I hate about this car, hate's a strong word. Another thing I dislike about this car is the fact that I know it's a 15-year-old car, but the interior is so dated. So that was one of my main, I wouldn't say worries, but one of the main negative points I was looking at when I was looking at BMWs. The interior seems to stay the same from the 80s. There's no Bluetooth in here. Luckily it's got an aux cable, and I had to buy one of them Bluetooth adapters. So the head unit and the speedo and stuff, the interior is a little bland. There's nothing going on to make it go, ooh, this is a BMW, apart from the badge. But you get the other German cars, and even the German cars of this age have a little bit of interior styling going on. Interior styling going on. Don't know why I created a new word there. But like, again, that can be rectified. You can add things into an interior to modernise it a little bit. Another thing about these BMWs that I just dislike is how hard they are to work on. So when I first got the car, previous owner didn't do a service on it for the last 2 years. So obviously that was my main priority when I got the car, was to do a service on it. And to access the air filter, you've got to take the whole scuttle panel off. You've got to take all the engine covers off, because the air filter's right at the back. Oil filter's alright to get to. air filter, pain in the backside. I've been looking at changing the headlights over. You've got to take the full front bumper off. Got to looking at doing the swirl flaps. Looks like a pain in the backside to do the swirl flaps. Just BMW seem to, I mean, it works because they're very good cars and you get no rattle sound from it. There's no like, you can't feel any loose parts. Big puddle there. Feel any loose parts. Nice little stretch of road there. One thing I love about this is it's pretty good at handling for what it is, this car. I know it doesn't go very fast, but the handling is really good. It seals over these back road bumps. A little bit off topic there because I went back to what I love. It seems like it's starting to try to snow. If it's going to be like this, it may as well snow and give it all a little bit of fun. Industrial estate fun. I mean Mexico fun. Don't go to industrial estates. So that's just being really picky on the things I dislike about the car. So the mods that I have done to the car already. So it's not much, but I've painted the front grille black instead of chrome. Chrome on a silver car, like, no thanks. Chrome on any car, no, I'm alright. I'll rather change it to black. I've put LED lights in the headlights, I've put LED lights in the fog lights, LED lights in the reverse lights. That make a massive difference, by the way. Like, when you're reversing and it lights up the whole street, it helps. LED lights in the number plate, lights. What else have I done? That's it. That's all I've done to the car so far. So moving on to the mods that I'd like to get done to this car. So hopefully the next video will be getting the exhaust done. I want to get the exhaust done just because it'll be better for the remap. So getting the exhaust done before the remap, try and squeeze a little few more gains out of it. If it's got a better free flowing exhaust, maybe I'll get a couple more brake horses out of it. Which obviously makes all the difference because all I enjoy about this car is how slow it is. I've mentioned in a previous video as well, the arch gap on this car is huge. So some spacers, just to give it that little bit of a wider stance, give it that little bit of a, I think it's meaner look, to be fair, because it's got big shoulders. If someone's got big shoulders, it's mean. Because I wanted to go with bigger wheels, but I didn't. I looked at the forums on my wheels, and I've got 18s on now. I'm not sure what they're called, but I've got 18s on now. And everyone says that these cars ride the best on 18s, so I'm going to try my best to have that, get a nice look out of it with these 18s on, instead of going to bigger 19 wheels, because the 19s I go to is Tiger Claws, and they're off an X5. Like, they're going to be massive, and don't get me wrong, it will look good then. So yeah, I'm going to try and sort the stance look out. A few spacers. I don't really want to go any lower on it because, like I say, it does scrape. But if I need to, if I get lower in springs, not coilovers, so I want to save the nice ride of it and like give it a nice look. I mentioned earlier about the gear shift being quite short, but in previous cars that I've had, I've installed short shifters, and to me they're probably the best mod you can get for the money. Like, it makes all the difference. Just having a nice, I mentioned earlier, the click, like just having a nice short click makes it have a little bit of a sportier feel. So I'm going to try and get a short shift. I'm not sure if they do them for these cars because the boot covers, once you take the leather gator off, there's another boot underneath. I'm not sure how you would get to the short shifter. Can you take up most of the road? Cheers, Paul. These are nice, you see. There's 4x4 drivers think we're on the road. I want to LED the whole interior. So these just have the original lights and they're a little bit yellow. So I want to LED the whole interior just so when you unlock the car, the whole interior lights up, and like I mentioned earlier, when you get your windows tinted, like it gives it a little bit of a nicer feel. Nice white LED lights, blacked out interior, it's got a nice ambience to it. So there's a company called Bimmer Supplies that I found on Instagram. I watched a video actually on YouTube, and he done the same to his 3 Series. You can get a F Series BMW screen. Wow. That was a big puddle. Yeah, that's just seeing my lights on very well. Very I thought I was going to need a boat to get through that one. Jesus. So yeah, touching on that, the screen. I want an F-Series screen, and just to modernise that interior, like I mentioned earlier, the interior on this is pretty old. So I want to get a nice screen that'll be modernise this interior, make it look really nice inside, and I'll have my Bluetooth, and I'll have my sat nav, and it'll be alright. So yeah, but one mod that I'd like to do is get some angel eye headlights. I know that LCI, the facelift 3 Series, you can get the halogen angel eyes with them. So I'm just trying to keep looking out for them. Every time someone breaks a 3 Series, just seems to get snapped up straight away, the headlights. But we'll keep looking, we'll find some. If anyone watches this video and has some, a message will be greatly appreciated. So the next thing is some big mods. So a little bit further down the line, when finances get a little bit better, we'll get back to work and stuff. I'd love to get this car wrapped. So there is a company that there's a lad I know who does car wrapping. I've been in contact with him, and he thinks it's a really good idea, the kind of colour and the style I'd go for. So I'd want the car to be like an auto grey, and then the back of the car should like have like a diagonal line down, and then the back of it be like a gloss black. Black out the front lights. Like I say, I'll black the grille out and get the roof as well gloss black. I just think it'll set it apart. It'll be me and then I can, you know, be a bit different. Hopefully I'll have that nice stance look, then really kick on. Another big mod I'd love to do is I'd love to put a bigger turbo on it, maybe a hybrid turbo on, like try and push the boundaries to about 300 brake, if the internals let it. Get some bigger injectors, a bigger exhaust. See if we can push this car to 300 brake, and then it'll be a perfect daily. Like I say, it'll be quick, it'll look nice, I'll be able to take the car shows, and it'll be good on fuel. There's another field flooded. So now we're just driving to a spot to get some cinematics out of the rain, somewhere in shelter. Just to show off the car a little bit, see what I've got going on. I keep getting flashed with the headlights, so I'm going to pull over and see what the crack is. Might have broke the headlights when I went through that bloody lake. So yeah, going to get some cinematics now. Show off the car a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you in the outro. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. Just a little review on me 3 Series BMW. Like I say, I'm going to try and get this lockdown lark's over. Going to get some more of my friends on, review their car, get better at it. I do apologise if the video is a little bit shaky again, as I just can't seem to get the video stable. But we'll get there. I'm looking at getting a camera because I know that'll help. The phone might be a little bit too heavy on my windscreen mount, I'm not sure. I just want to say thank you to everyone that give us supported us on the last video. 700 views is massive for my first video. Like, I did not expect that. I didn't even expect 100, to be fair. Nearly 60 subscribers as well. I'm going to try and aim to get maybe 100 by the end of February. Yeah, by the end of February. It's a short month, so I'm being optimistic. Yeah, so thanks everyone. I hope you liked it. If you did like it, give it a like. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. Follow my socials, because there's a little bit more, you'll get a little bit quicker updates on stuff, on that stuff. I'm sorry it took so long to get out. My memory was full on my phone. Rookie mistake, I guess. We'll get there. Yep, so thanks everyone, and see you in the next one, I hope.